The 5th minute. Old Trafford is already buzzing, and then it happens. Luke Shaw picks up the ball and drives forward. He lets fly with a stunning strike. The net ripples. Old Trafford erupts. And just like that, Manchester United are 1-0 up against Nottingham Forest in their final home Premier League match of the 2025-2026 season. Now, here is what makes that moment so much bigger than just a goal. Luke Shaw had not scored for Manchester United in 1,230 days. Read that again. 1,230 days. His last goal for the club came against Bournemouth on the 3rd of January, 2023. That is over 3 years of waiting. 3 years of injuries, setbacks, and questions about whether Shaw could ever rediscover himself at the highest level. And in the most emotional home game of the season, he answered every single one of those questions with one strike of his left foot. The situation is this. Luke Shaw's goal did not just open the scoring, it captured something about this entire Manchester United season under Michael Carrick. It was unexpected, it was powerful, and it reminded everyone watching exactly what this club is capable of when things click into place. But let us be clear about what was at stake going into this match. Manchester United needed a result. The season had been turbulent. Ruben Amorim had been sacked as head coach. Darren Fletcher had briefly stepped in as caretaker. And then Michael Carrick, a man who bleeds Manchester United, walked back through the door and took charge in January. At that point, the club was sitting 7th in the Premier League table. 7th. That is how far things had fallen. The question everybody was asking was simple. Could Carrick turn this around in time to salvage something meaningful from the season? The answer, as of today, is a resounding yes. Manchester United have confirmed a 3rd place Premier League finish, and on this final home day, in front of a packed and electric Old Trafford, they delivered a performance and a result that sent their supporters home feeling something they had been missing for a long time. Now, before we go deeper into all the details of this incredible afternoon, I want to say something directly to you watching this right now. If you want this level of detailed, honest, and independent analysis on Manchester United and the stories that matter most, hit that subscribe button right now and ring that notification bell. Because on this channel, Adam United Analyst, we do not rush, we do not sensationalize, we break it all down properly, every single time. Now let us get back to the story, the match itself. Let us walk through exactly what happened on the pitch, because the scoreline of 3-2 does not fully capture how this game unfolded. Luke Shaw broke the deadlock in the 5th minute with that remarkable strike. Manchester United carried that 1-0 lead all the way to half-time. A controlled, disciplined first-half performance. Then the second half began, and Nottingham Forest came out swinging. Just 7 minutes into the second half, Morato pulled Forest level. 1-1. Old Trafford went quiet for a moment. The tension was real, but Manchester United responded almost immediately. 2 minutes later, Matheus Cunha restored the lead. 2-1. The crowd was back. The energy returned. Then in the 76th minute, Bryan Mbeumo made it 3-1. Game effectively over, or so it seemed. But Nottingham Forest were not done. Morgan Gibbs White pulled one back 2 minutes later in the 78th minute to make it 3-2. A nervy final few minutes followed. But Manchester United held on. 3-2, final whistle. The home faithful celebrated in full. Now let us look at what the statistics tell us about this performance, because the numbers are fascinating. Manchester United registered 29 shots compared to Nottingham Forest's 11. 8 of those shots were on target for United, compared to 4 for Forest. But the most telling number of all is the expected goals figure. Manchester United generated 4.43 expected goals. Nottingham Forest generated 1.75. The evidence suggests that United were not just the better team on the day. They were significantly the better team. The scoreline of 3-2, while exciting, actually flatters Forest somewhat when you look at the underlying data. Possession was almost even, with Forest edging it 51% to 49%. But possession without quality of chances counts for very little. And on this day, Manchester United's attacking quality was clear for everyone to see. The Bruno Fernandes historic moment. Now let us talk about one of the individual storylines of the day that absolutely demands attention. Bruno Fernandes. The Manchester United captain moved on to 20 Premier League assists this season. 20. He has now tied the single-season Premier League assist record. He is on the cusp of history with one game still remaining. Away at Brighton on the 24th of May. The assist map tells a story in itself. Pass after pass, threading through to goal-scoring positions all over the opposition penalty area from all angles and distances. This is what elite creativity looks like at the highest level. And when Bruno spoke about the milestone afterwards, his response told you everything about the man. He acknowledged that everyone knew the record was important. He spoke about how teammates were doing everything they could to score from his passes. And he admitted, honestly, that there were moments in the match where he probably should have passed instead of shooting, but he was very happy. And more than the personal milestone, he was happy to finish the season on a high. That is the mentality of a winner. Personal glory is secondary to the team result. And that attitude is a huge part of why Manchester United have turned their season around so dramatically under Michael Carrick. The VAR controversy. No Manchester United match these days is complete without a VAR moment, and this game delivered one that sparked serious debate. Manchester United's second goal, which was scored by Matthias Cunha in the 55th minute, was subject to a VAR review over a potential handball. The referee went to the pitchside monitor and reviewed the incident. After the review, the decision was confirmed. The goal would stand. The official announcement from the Premier League Match Centre confirmed that the handball was deemed accidental and therefore the goal was upheld. But not everyone was satisfied with that outcome. Gary Neville's reaction was one of genuine disbelief. His view was direct and unambiguous. He described the VAR call as ridiculous. He stated clearly that in his view, the player had handballed it. He questioned how the VAR could look at the incident for 3 minutes, and then the referee could look at the monitor for another minute and still not overturn the decision. He said he could not believe what he had just seen and that he did not know what to say. A strong reaction from a man who knows the game inside out. On the other side, Nottingham Forest manager Vitor Pereira addressed the handball situation in his post-match comments. His response was measured but clearly frustrated. He spoke about the doubt that exists in the Premier League right now around these decisions. He pointed out that nobody knows exactly what constitutes handball or not in these moments. Nobody knows when something in the box is a foul or not. He called for a meeting among all the managers so that everyone can better understand the rules and how they are being applied. He made clear that in his view, every manager in the game right now has doubts about some of these decisions. The reality for the club is that the goal stood and the 3 points are Manchester United's. But the broader conversation about VAR consistency in the Premier League is one that is clearly not going away. Both managers and pundits remain genuinely confused about where the line is, and that lack of clarity serves nobody well. Michael Carrick, the man of the moment. Now let us turn to the man at the centre of this entire turnaround. Michael Carrick. The numbers are extraordinary when you lay them out clearly. In 16 Premier League games as interim manager, Carrick has won 11 of them. 11 wins from 16 games. Compare that to Ruben Amorim, who managed 8 wins from 20 Premier League games. The contrast is stark. And the evidence suggests that the job Michael Carrick has done since taking over in January has been nothing short of remarkable. When Carrick arrived, Manchester United were 7th in the table. They will finish the season 3rd. That is a transformation. And it has been built on clear standards, a clear identity, and a group of players who have clearly responded to his methods. After the match, Carrick addressed the Old Trafford faithful directly. He spoke about what a way it was to finish the season. He praised the performance, saying he thought Manchester United played ever so well. He described Old Trafford as a special place that does magical things. He spoke with genuine emotion about the players, describing them as not just good footballers, but good people. He emphasised how important it is at a club like Manchester United that the squad sacrifices for each other and looks after each other. He gave credit to every member of the backroom staff, saying their sacrifices and efforts are what make Old Trafford such a special place. He also acknowledged the players who are leaving the club. He mentioned Casemiro specifically, describing him as incredible and noting the wonderful connection the Brazilian has had with the supporters. And he asked the crowd to show appreciation for Tyrell, who has had a difficult time with injuries since joining the club. He closed his speech with genuine warmth. He thanked the supporters for being with the club through the ups and the downs. He spoke about the connection he has felt with this place since he first walked through the door 20 years ago as a player. And he said that it is in the tough and challenging times when you stick together that you truly find out what a football club is made of. He told the supporters to have a good summer and hinted, without saying it explicitly, that there is more to come. The situation is that Michael Carrick's permanent appointment as Manchester United head coach is expected imminently. It has been widely understood that Ineos will stick with Carrick given the remarkable success of his interim period. And on this afternoon at Old Trafford, Carrick spoke and conducted himself like a man who knows exactly where he is going. confident, grateful, and fully in control. In a separate quote shared after the match, Carrick made his broader vision for the club absolutely clear. He spoke about having been part of successful squads at Manchester United, squads that had the required standards of talent, commitment, and determination. He said those attributes are continuing to grow within the current dressing room right now. He acknowledged it is not the finished article, but he stated with conviction that there is so much potential in this squad to build something really special. Those are not the words of a man who is thinking short term. Those are the words of a manager with a plan. Casemiro says goodbye. One of the most emotional moments of the entire afternoon did not involve a goal. It involved a farewell. Casemiro, who has been out of contract and is leaving Manchester United this summer, was given a proper send-off by the Old Trafford crowd. The Brazilian midfielder appeared on the pitch with his family. And when he spoke to the supporters, his message was simple, heartfelt, and perfectly delivered. He thanked the players, he thanked the staff, he thanked everyone at the club, but he reserved his most powerful words for the fans. He told them clearly that the best thing in this club is you, the fans, and he thanked them. It was a moment of real class from a player who has had an extraordinary journey at Old Trafford. Whatever your view on his recent form or his future, it is hard to watch a moment like that and not feel something. This is what football is about at its core. Human connection, and Casemiro handled his farewell with exactly the dignity and grace you would expect. Carrick himself referenced Casemiro in his speech, calling the response from the supporters towards the Brazilian incredibly emotional. This chapter of Casemiro's career at Manchester United is now closed, but the memories he created are clearly ones that both the player and the supporters will carry for a long time. The new forwards making history. Now let us shift focus to three players who have quietly written their names into the history books this season. Benjamin Sesko, Matheus Cunha, and Bryan Mbeumo have each scored at least 10 Premier League goals in their debut season at Manchester United. 10 goals each, all in their first season, all at the same club. That has only happened once before in Premier League history. Arsenal managed it in the 2012 to 2013 season when Olivier Giroud, Lucas Podolski and Santi Cazorla all hit double figures in their debut campaigns. The evidence suggests that the recruitment strategy at Manchester United this summer has been far more successful than it is perhaps getting credit for. 3 new forwards, all hitting double figures, all adapting to a new league or a new club at the same time. That is not a coincidence. That is quality. Bryan Mbeumo's goal in the 76th minute today was a perfect example of what he brings. He finds the right positions, he makes the right runs, and he delivers at crucial moments. Matheus Cunha was equally important, scoring what turned out to be the decisive goal in the 55th minute. These are players performing when it matters most. The Morgan Gibbs White question. Now let us address the player who, despite scoring a goal for the opposition today, became one of the biggest talking points among Manchester United supporters. Morgan Gibbs White of Nottingham Forest pulled a goal back in the 78th minute to make it 3-2. It was a goal that briefly put nerves back into the game. But beyond the goal itself, something else happened. Manchester United fans watching him play began asking a very clear question. Why is this player not in a red shirt? The reaction from supporters was immediate and united. One fan described Gibbs White as looking like a perfect Manchester United player in everything about him. Another suggested that the club's owners should not let Gibbs White leave Old Trafford today without signing a Manchester United contract. Multiple supporters called for him to be signed this summer without hesitation. Others pointed out that he is actually a Manchester United fan himself and that he has the mentality to play for the club. One supporter even suggested he could serve as Bruno Fernandes' natural backup given his profile and ability. The reality for the club is that Gibbs White is contracted to Nottingham Forest. Any potential transfer would be subject to Forest's willingness to sell and the agreement of a transfer fee. Nothing has been confirmed. Nothing has been reported as imminent. This remains firmly in the category of fan speculation at this stage, driven by what supporters saw from him today. But the conversation has clearly started, and it is not going away. Elliot Anderson, the other Forest player, catching eyes. The second Nottingham Forest player attracting serious attention from Manchester United supporters and analysts is Elliot Anderson. The midfielder, who is currently contracted to Nottingham Forest, has been widely discussed as a reported Manchester United transfer target. Gary Neville spoke at length about what Anderson brings to a football team. His analysis was detailed and specific. He pointed to Anderson's England performances as evidence of genuine elite quality. His argument was simple. When you go and train with England, you are surrounded by the best players in the country. If Anderson could not handle that level, he would be found out quickly. The evidence suggests he can handle it. Neville praised Anderson's ability to break up play, read the game, and accept the ball under pressure. But what he highlighted most strongly was Anderson's willingness to pass forward. In a league where many midfielders are happy to recycle possession sideways or backwards, Anderson drives the ball through the lines. He punches passes into the forward areas. He is always looking for the next dangerous option. Neville drew a direct comparison with Bruno Fernandes in this regard. He pointed out that Fernandes is exceptional, precisely because he always wants to play the furthest pass forward. And he suggested Anderson has that same quality on the other side of the midfield. He described the United crowd as one that will pull a midfielder apart if they are constantly passing sideways. Anderson, he argued, understands this instinctively. However, Neville also delivered a clear warning. Manchester United will not be the only club interested. There will be significant competition in the market for Anderson's signature this summer. But his conclusion was firm. He would be a good signing. Now here is the other side of this equation. Nottingham Forest manager Vitor Pereira was asked directly about Anderson's future after the match. His answer was honest and open-ended. He said it is an answer he does not have. He acknowledged that the market is the market and anything can happen. But he was equally clear that the club wants to keep Anderson. Forest want him there. Keeping him will not be straightforward given the level of interest. This is a rumour and a reported target at this stage. No transfer has been agreed. No fee has been confirmed. But the situation is developing and Manchester United supporters are paying very close attention. The Rasmus Hojlund situation. Now let us address one significant piece of confirmed transfer news that changes the landscape for Manchester United this summer. Napoli have secured Champions League football for next season. And as a direct result of that achievement, the Italian club have triggered the £38 million release clause to sign Rasmus Hojlund permanently from Manchester United. This is not a rumour. This is a confirmed activation of a release clause. Hojlund, who spent time at Napoli, will now join them permanently this summer for £38 million. The implications for Manchester United are significant. The club will need to address their striker situation in the transfer window. Whether that means bringing in a new centre-forward or relying more heavily on the existing options, the situation is clear. Hojlund's departure is now confirmed and planning must happen accordingly. Closing thoughts on a historic day. Let us pull everything together because when you look at this afternoon in its entirety, it tells a complete story. Manchester United beat Nottingham Forest 3-2 in their final home game of the season. Luke Shaw scored his first goal in 1,230 days. Bruno Fernandes reached 20 Premier League assists, equaling the all-time single-season record. 3 summer signings all hit double figures in goals for the first time in a season at a new club since Arsenal in 2012 to 2013. Casemiro said a heartfelt goodbye to Old Trafford. Carrick delivered a speech that felt like the opening chapter of something new. And the permanent managerial appointment that the club needs is now reported to be imminent. Michael Carrick inherited a team in 7th place. He will hand back a team in 3rd. He has won 11 of 16 Premier League games. He has spoken about the potential to build something really special. And everything about how he conducts himself, how he speaks, how his players respond to him, suggests he means every word of it. The situation is this. Manchester United go into next season with genuine momentum, a clear identity, and a manager who understands the club at the deepest level. There are decisions still to be made in the transfer market. There are questions around players leaving and arriving. But the foundation is stronger than it has been in years. One game remains. Away at Brighton on the 24th of May. The season is not yet finished. And knowing Manchester United under Michael Carrick right now, they will want to finish it in exactly the right way. This has been Adam United Analyst. If you enjoyed this breakdown and you want more of this depth and quality every time a major Manchester United story breaks, please subscribe to the channel right now. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Who was your man of the match today? Was it Bruno with the historic assists? Was it Luke Shaw with the stunning comeback goal? Or was it Carrick himself, the man quietly building something very special at Old Trafford? Let me know, and I will see you in the next one.